the grand final of this July Nova Cup. A very special month, I think, with all of the new players, so welcome. I hope we have a bunch of new players watching the stream today. I hope you're enjoying the show. You won't see Legion any better than this. This is very high level, super strategic, very, very talented players here, and game number 1 of the final is about to begin. Let's go.
Any chaos pickers in the chat?
Yeah, let's go.
Nope.
Oh, no chaos.
No chaos today. I didn't saw any chaos.
We do see Ashton opening with the YOLO again, though, and he's got, once again, I've got to say, a pretty solid YOLO roll. Like, he's maybe a little bit over-reliant on Pierce, a little bit over-reliant on natural armor, but it's a very solid roll for the early game, and he can just re-roll probably around wave 8 to try and find something to kill wave 8, but other than that, he's looking solid for the first 6 or 7 waves.
Yeah, he's managed to find every defense type, so that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think XGod is one priestess away from having the best roll in the game.
Yeah, he really is. And BerntDasBROT, meanwhile, he has Flower Mask if he wants to go for an AoE roll. He also has Butcher Sovereign with Necromata if he wants to play something more single target focused. And Green has a pretty solid roll. Like, nothing too exciting there for Green, I don't think, but a pretty stable roll as well.
I really liked roll from XGod. It's such a nice roll. Like, you have this Berserker, and then on free you add just Serpent, and you are just set up for the full game, like until 10. And you have this Madman if you want on 5, or if you want Deep Coiler. But such a nice roll. You can push very hard with it, and it's
very clear power spikes that make it like easy to shift your gold, get out the units you want to keep your curve going, to scale up nice.
Yeah. And we have the double angler from Burnt and Greenspirit. So talking about power spikes, these guys will both have a big jump up around wave 7 or 8, usually when they first upgrade the Kingpin, and then expect to see them both pushing workers very hard once they do get that Kingpin on the board. Alright, there is a slight worker lead in favour of Burnt and Green, but that's only because XGod and Ashton don't have 50 gold yet. Do expect them both to push as soon as they can. But having said that, even having the 5th worker alive for a few more seconds, it is generating a slight advantage in the early game.
Yep. For stuff like Berserker, yeah.
Julian has a little bit trickier roll, because you are a little bit vulnerable to big saves, and XGod can do big saves versus this Flower Angler.
Yeah, he can, but having said that, XGod did send a king up on wave 2, and that's enabled Burnt to push 7 workers. Just no fear here whatsoever. He'll be able to upgrade that angler into a bounty hunter on wave 4 to collect more stacks. That's maybe the most vulnerable point in his early game until maybe wave 6 or so. But
yeah, I think the atoms are definitely a huge help there, because they smooth out the single target and the early game. Like, 6 becomes less of a problem with the double atom setup, just because they split tank so well. I honestly think 7 could be like one of his bigger problems. His angler just went missing.
oh no, the angler's missed out on all of those stacks. It did get up to 58, which is not bad, but Greenspirit, he's leaking 61% here to a DT on 3. Just how bad do you have to be?
I think this is the first time I see Greenspirit leaking in first 10 waves.
Yeah, he went 6 workers and I guess got punished for it.
Paid the price.
Yeah, never push again.
Oh, here's
he can get his bounty, yeah.
Here's the Dino Send coming out from Burnt. Will he add to that? I'm not sure he will. Ashton's on pretty solid value, but the Aqua, which is now so good on wave 3 and 5, is actually a little bit weaker on 4, I think, than it used to be.
Yeah. He does have like Warg and Warg's little brother, which are both very good on wave 4. So maybe that's just enough with some good aggro here.
The Dino is going left, where it will tank the Howler and the Fire Elemental basically forever, but he just has, I mean, such good value. All of his damage is Pierce, all of his tanks are natural armor. The Fire Elemental goes down now. And the Dino, I mean, okay, the Dino is dead, so this is just a hold now for Ashton. He's pretty happy with that. It was only an 80 send, though. But here's a full try-hard send on wave 5. XGod sending the Imps, Ashton sending the Hermit.
Yeah, this is what I was afraid a little bit. So it's gonna be very, very hard for Julian to hold these Imps.
Yeah. I mean, you were saying, Ofma, as well, that the Atom likes to smooth out the early game, which it can. Like, if this Atom tanks the boss and survives, then Bernt can actually do fairly well here. But if this Atom dies before the boss, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh, the Atom is doing its job so far. The boss is going down. Is it going to be quick enough, though? The Atom, it does survive. Okay, that's big, because now he can pick off quite a few more creeps before his melee units go down. But Greenspirit, though, he is struggling here against the Hermit's End. 67% leak on Ashton just against income. 57 for Bernt. 74, though, for Green. And what's more, that Hermit healing all of the leaks up to full health. They're going to take a ton of king damage here. And it's only wave 5.
Yeah. It's very nice by Ashton. That was what I was mentioning. If he skip and he sent power mercs, you just doesn't count with
you know you're in trouble.
Yeah. And now, like, Greenspirit leak on 3 to small income send. Now he leaked big on 5, and he's gonna face these big workers, and he cannot come back, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's really struggling already. And guys, they're on 60% king HP, and it's only wave 6 already. Like, this feels pretty rough for Bernt and Green. What do they need to do if they want to come back into this game?
And they need to find king damage somehow, or they need to hold, or like Ashton and XGod need to go for a long stick, and Julian and Green have to hold it completely. But the thing is, they went for some like Ink of King to get some regen going, but Ashton is already super far pushed, and this is only going to make it worse.
Does he leak here though? No. I think the wave 6 is just not strong enough to break through Ashton, and it was only a DT send as well, remember.
And Imps on 7.
Okay. So XGod, he was pleased with the performance of his Imps on wave 5. He's going for a repeat performance here on 7. Now Bernt, as usual, has a lot of value, but he's even shifting a bit of gold here. He wants to try and get that Kingpin online for wave 8, but this might end up biting him here on 7 because his build is looking pretty weak here, honestly.
Yeah, no Arcane here, and Drake is gonna shred all the stuff, so Drake is perfect send here.
Green does have a tantrumed Hellraiser, though, so I think he should be able to hold. Oh, no! The Hellraiser's tanking the Drake, though! This could be very dangerous for him, because that's pretty much all of his damage at this point. The Hellraiser, I mean, it is still doing its job, but it dies now. This will be a leak for Green. And Bernt, how are you doing?
Oh, he killed all the Imps, so might be good enough. With the lifesteal?
He still has the Atom alive.
The baby leak, it looks like. But the thing with Green is, it's like the mask split. If you do upper split and you get one tank send, the mask on the right that's higher up freezes when it hits the BT, and then the Drake goes left.
Exactly, and as Adams is pinging here, Greenspirit has 7 workers while Ashton has 13. So Ashton's holding every wave while having nearly double the workers that Green has. This is really, really rough for the power index.
Yeah, not even Kingpin gonna save you here. Sure, you will hold here, but facing 13 workers when you are 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
And Bernt may very well not hold the income resend as well, because he did not get the Kingpin online.
Yeah, this one might be tricky for him, honestly.
He has full get with lifesteal. Maybe that will be good enough, but
yeah, no damage sends.
Time to kill this dino.
Yeah, the cat is very, very good here, but the rest of his units are terrible. What is important, though, is that this Atom stayed alive, because that is a good source of damage for him here on wave 8. So it looks like he's doing okay. Greenspirit, of course, is holding, but he was 7 workers up until wave 8, so... it looks like Bernt actually is leaking, but only small.
Just look at the income difference. It's like 1 worker per wave.
Yeah, that's insane, actually. So Green is able to push those workers now, but even his full push after getting a send here, he's still going to be behind in workers compared to Ashton and XGod. All right, I think the one saving grace here, though, is that Burnt and Green are saving their Mythium while XGod and Ashton are falling into an income sending pattern. But that said, I mean, with the 14 workers for both XGod and Ashton, they're just generating so much more Mythium than Burnt and Green.
Yeah, I mean, they could just income king all the wave and, like, doesn't care in this game, pretty much, because, like, if they decide to... Okay, like if Julian and Green decide to go big and leak them, they still can then just stop it and go for final blow.
Yeah. And just look at those income numbers again, Adams. Ashton is now more than double the income compared to Greenspirit. This is a very rough spot for the power index. How they have an absolute mountain to climb to get back into this game.
The only angle I see is overwork 12, but even then, like Adam said, all they have to do is not die, and then they just win the game after that.
Yeah. Like they are doing it, they are just incoming, making the income, and it's like so hard for Julian and Green to do anything. Like it's already like very hard for them, even leak, not to even like deal some king damage.
Yeah.
And there is also a pawn shop, so maybe XGod can then just pawn shop his Theta and just build for 11-12.
And he can just he can just like spam Harden and then just sell them when they don't get a sun.
Yeah. Now this income drip is starting to feed Burnt and Green, so it is giving them a chance to get back into the game. But like you say, they're just so far behind that even with this continual feed, it's a tall order for them to get any real damage done against XGod and Ashton.
I mean, Ashton is sending every wave to Green, and he has war workers.
Yeah,
Green. He's just now catching up, so the gap is insane.
We do see Burnt fully pushing here on wave 11, so I guess they're going to go for a wave 12 send against XGod and Ashton, and they do pick up the overwork as well. So if Burnt can pro-leak here, this could be very good actually, especially if we see XGod harden here. That'll be interesting.
I think that XGod looked like he wants to prep full Tantrum Mass for 12, which is just an insane read with
what? This guy is just very, very smart, I think. He sold half of his units to prep for Tantrum Mass. He's going to be a machine on 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just saw the play that the only thing they can do is overwork and big 12, right?
Yeah.
And he's just fully preparing to counter that play.
Very smart play there from XGod.
Yes.
And they don't send the income on 11 to even give a chance of a pro league.
That's very nice play, yeah. They could like king up maybe, but
yeah,
they can do it next round. So
I guess there's a pro league either way.
Yeah.
Burnt
is pro leaking. It's going to generate a ton of Mythium here. We see the question mark pings coming out from XGod and Ashton. And Ashton is just sending that income.
Yeah.
Alright, these sends are massive now from Burnt and Green, but as we've already said, XGod and Ashton are absolutely monstrous in terms of their value. And XGod, with that super smart game read there, prepping his Hellraisers on wave 11, so that they're all Tantrum, dealing 25% more damage here on 12, and he's going to harden his Mudmen as well. I'm sure he's just going to do way too well, I think.
Okay, sold everything that's not Mudman.
That's some pawn shop action.
Yeah.
I like
triple hardened golem, triple tantrum mask. I mean, that's the most.
Okay, one misplay. I think this is not gonna drag anything here. So...
Yeah.
I don't think you want it to drag anything, honestly. I think these Tantrum masks need to stay alive as long as possible. You don't really want them to split tank at all. But the sends are enormous. There's 620 for XGod. There's 700 there for Ashton Butcher. So they are undervalued, but he's still 2.3k value on wave 12 here for Ashton. 2.1 for XGod. And it does look like Ashton is going to leak. But XGod, with those Tantrum Hellraisers, sure, the percentage looks big, 113%, and Ashton 130. But all of XGod's creeps are super low HP, and they have pretty good king upgrades. They're going to take king damage here, but they're going to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, one thing to note is that the overwork actually let Julian catch up in terms of income. So he's in a resource. So obviously green is like dead, but
Yeah.
it gives him a chance now that Julian is actually in the game.
I mean,
the 51% there.
yeah, he's on par in terms of income, Ofma, but he's 500 value behind Ashton Butcher.
Yeah.
So it's going to take him a little while to catch back up, even if he has a decent amount more income.
I wonder what XGod was needed to say for Ashton to be plus value and not push and also
Well, I mean, it seems like 15 is the obvious outcome now.
Yeah. And Burnt is fully shifting here. He's probably going to pro league again, honestly.
Oh, he built. Okay, I thought he didn't build anything. I was like, he's your full dehardened.
And the calm down masks as well, not particularly strong on wave 13, but yeah, because he added the gate, he's able to easily hold here against no send. Burnt, though, is that a different story with his kingpins? Ashton Butcher is unsure. Is this going to be another mind game play from Burnt and Green? Because actually Burnt shifted a lot of gold here on wave 13, so maybe they're just trying to bait away 14 send, giving them the pressure advantage as we move into the late game period. Yeah, and Burnt does leak here. So let's see, do XGod and Ashton take the bait? Will they send here on 14?
I think they should not send because like XGod has full mask prepared for 14 with golems, so
and
you're
you're right, Adams. They do hold their nerve, but XGod is full hardening.
You just pawn shot them next wave.
True.
He's really gonna.
Yeah, I mean he can pawn shop it, but you're still losing a lot of gold.
Yeah, I mean,
like every golem is 40 gold lost, right?
It's a lot of gold. So I suppose he should full Sui for 15 if he see no send because he's dead on 15.
Yeah. Ashton is very strong though. But having said that, Burnt probably wants to full push into Ashton as well, right? So interesting which way this one goes.
XGod is pushing.
XGod is pushing. Burnt is not. So maybe Ashton's just able to hold the longest. Green's overvalued. Yeah. Let's have a look at Green's build. I mean, he's going to have a Hades, and he has got a bunch of badges as well.
And Tantrum Master, no joke. I mean, if he protects them with a melee up here, then they can do quite a high amount of damage on 15 to help out the Hades.
And Burnt is just popping some Zeuses, hoping to get some magic damage there against the wave. He's definitely leaking, though, I think, with XGod pushing 35 workers. So Burnt should leak for sure. Ashton double boosting his Orchids. He's also got Life Binders on there. I mean, Burnt is actually the closest to value, despite XGod's suicide push here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ashton didn't pawn shop some of his bad value, like the Something or the Coiler, maybe. Just to get some more arcane out.
Wait a minute, guys. Are Burnt and Green just going to pull another victory from the jaws of defeat? Because Ashton is leaking here, right?
And this is looking like a hold.
Yeah, that is a hold for Greenspirit. Roman?
Is this another heist?
Oh! Ashton does leak. It's a very small leak while Burnt leaks the entire wave, but Roman, Greenspirit, he is full holding here on wave 15. That's going to keep them in the game, I think. But 16 creeps reaching the king. Burnt and Green, they were so dead in the early game, and I think they've just won here in game number 1.
This is actually impossible.
Insane.
I would not believe this if I didn't saw this.
They were so out in this game. Again, look at the graph, Adams. Ashton and XGod are so far ahead in the early game, it's unreal. We were all saying that there's basically no chance for Burnt and Green to come back into this game. And guess what? They prove us wrong once again. These guys really are the masters of the comeback, it seems.
Yeah, I mean...
Impressive.
I think they went for like the obvious play, which was to keep incoming, but I think the like correct quote-unquote play is probably to just go 11 and to deny them a 12 play.
I thought that they have such a lead that this is like safe play that never lose, right? Because you just
Yeah.
do it and just take the damage, but actually they take more damage that they should, and there was like perfect pro league on 11 from Julian, and they sent like 700 and 600, so that just catapult them back into the game.
It was
But
too much
as
for
you
them
said,
to deal with, yeah.
as you said, Ofma, the best play was definitely like not income king on 9 and 10 and just pressure them and just play it with the big advantage on 11.
But I totally understand that you feel like there's no way this game is losable. Yeah, I just think I'm king. They're gonna overwork 12. Then we would go 15. We win the race. They have bad units.
Exactly. That was I was thinking as well. But they got punished for it.
Just look at this wave 7, guys. Like, wave 7, Greenspirit's leaking to income, while Ashton has double his worker count. So the fact that they were able to come back being so far behind in the early game is really, really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think these people better to not get a huge early game lead against these guys, because somehow it just makes them stronger.
Yeah, right? I think Green and Burnt, their game plan does seem to be just play really badly in the early game, fall massively behind, and then just pull some absolute miracle out of nowhere, take your opponents unexpected, and just destroy them in the mid to late game. So, yeah, really cool stuff.
They are definitely good at playing better early game. Like, you can't play worse than that, but on the other hand, they are exceptionally good at spotting that one out or the winning play.
Yeah.
Like they show us this game and also in the game versus King and Wither.
Yeah, their macro gameplay has been pretty much perfect so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like the early game micro is having some trouble.
You know, like, if they played good, they have like a lot of options and they might choose bad, but if they are so far behind, there's only one option and one play to get get it, so I guess that's also good gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you were hoping, Ofma, you're cheering for your #1 fanboy Greenspirit there. I mean, we certainly saw him pull off a very impressive hold there on wave 15, turning around a game that we all three had basically said was lost for them. So really, really impressive play there from Green, turning the game on its head, really, when they were so far behind. What do you think, then, that... what do you think XGod and Ashton need to do in game number 2 to turn things around? Because it felt like they were so dominating in the early game, they can't really be second-guessing their early game performance. Is it some sort of mid-game decision-making they need to improve on, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, I think they just need to finish the game when they're ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't fool
Probably
around.
Just keep the pressure and play. Like, you had such a big lead, just keep the pressure and finish the game.
So it was just that drip of income and king sends on wave 9 and 10 that really gave a chance for Burnt and Green to come back into this one. But guys...
And then they skip on 11, but Julian just pro league there. Like, if they send there, he's like fully king, so they will get at least one god, but everything went wrong.
Yeah. But guys, that's enough for game number 1, because game number 2 is ready to go. Let's see who wins this one as we go into game number 2.
In
Already
Priestess.
Yeah, and there is a Divine Blessing.
Oh, that's a spicy one.
Defensive spells, so it will be a strange game.
Doesn't it look like he would have a better role if he plays around the Divine DK? I mean, the Priestess is still really good with the Steed.
Priest the Steed, yeah, and he can get some kingpins with the Steeds, right,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. And XGod there with the lock-in, so you've got to think he's locking in the Priestess because he sees the Divine Blessing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw it in the left.
And with this play, he's just putting out so much value, so he might go for Starve Julian, just stay over value and enable Ashton. That's probably the gameplay.
Julian, though, BerntDasBROT, he's got a very aggressive opener himself. He has the Gate Guard, he has the double Pack Rat as well. This is maybe the highest Mythium generating start in the game.
And Ashton not going for the YOLO. His role looks very Ashton-like. Doesn't have like hard carries, but a mix of some solid units.
Burnt does get snailed though, so XGod and Ashton may be expecting him to play Fiesta. He's not, and this snail is going to punish him quite a lot actually, because not only is he going to leak, but the pack rats are way weaker when the waves are so long.
Yeah. A little unlucky, but I'm honestly surprised XGod is willing to snail while starting with a 230 gold opener.
Yeah, right? Oh, he actually added the angler. I thought he was just playing around with that to sort of get the range, you know, but he actually places it and goes for a super slow opener.
Yeah, he got his 4 workers, so he should be fine. And he already gets some lead on Julian. It's also all going according to the plan, right? To get very bad early game.
Yeah, and Green chilling on his 5th worker because he's cash out. Even adds the tier 1 already, just in case Ashton could get 40 on him.
Oh, Burnt actually goes for a post-income DT here. Now, Ashton's Oathbreaker's going to die very quickly, but he did add the Sea Serpent, which is a really strong unit on Wave 2.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do just fine. That's a full hold.
That's 6 workers for him. Without really being able to be punished on 4 either, because the Serpent is so strong there.
Yeah, this is really good start now for Ashton and XGod, especially with that leak on 1 into Burnt not being able to leak Ashton on 2. The things are starting to already, once again, XGod and Ashton taking an early game lead.
Oh, this roll by Julian is so awkward. Like he's missing the pierce damage, and he needs to overbuild for wave 4 so hard. He probably can't trash around anything.
Maybe he'll go for the boost tech.
Yeah, that's so painful though, right?
Yeah, minus 20 on wave 4, just so you can hold some income. And yeah, he's 3 workers, 2 pack rats, everyone else has 6 workers. So he's not behind yet in Lithium, but soon he will be.
Oh, there's a Brute from Greenspirit, so taking the -3 income already on wave 4.
If he goes for this bounty, he's just gonna leak the whole wave. Go Brute.
He's actually going for a Treant instead, which,
So,
I mean, it's probably better than a bounty, but it's still not a good unit on wave 4.
it should leak, I think. Oh my god.
Oh,
Is he
What's
going
he
for the
doing?
bounty?
no.
Build something! Oh,
Oh,
no!
it is a bounty. Okay, okay. This could be dangerous now for XGod. Meanwhile...
Yes, balance.
Oh, that Priestess is dying immediately. Didn't even get the second heal off. This is going to be a big leak here for XGod on wave 4.
You need to split on wave 4.
66% leak there for XGod. This is really bad. His Priestess got almost 0 value there. Now, meanwhile, Burnt is able to hold his Dino Send, but he's on 430 value, 3 workers. They don't call him BerntDasBROT for nothing.
Yeah. Dug one of his rats, kept one of them up. I mean, fair enough, it is his weak wave. Let's see how he scales the build from here. But Ashton holding his small income as well.
We've had a lot of very long waves, though, and it's only wave 4, so I think the Pack Rat player might start falling behind if he's not too careful.
True.
Oh.
I think XGod a little bit helped them here. That was a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
going to them.
Green's gold is so bad. I think you'd roll for something that you can build, maybe, instead of just spamming some polys.
This is a bit of a rough one, especially when he's receiving a Drake here on wave 5.
He hit something. Oh, thank God. Julie.
Oh, the Harbinger for BerntDasBROT. Okay, it does enable him to double treasure hunt here. He's actually on 545 value even with the double hunt. This really is BerntDasBuilder in his prime.
Plus 70 after you get
Yeah.
sent.
It's just as well because Greenspirit is leaking, but having said that, it's only the Drake that's making it through. He was able to kill the entire wave. And BerntDasOverbuilder easily covering his teammate here in the mid.
I mean, there's something to be said about getting the harv out. Like, it makes your game a bit smoother, and now you can focus on wave 8 basically only. But I mean, there is a price to pay. Ashton is quite pushed now.
But once again, Julian was just 5 workers and playing reds, and this was long wave, so it's not really paying off so far.
If we look at the total Mythium, Bernt is behind all of the other players. Not by miles, he's only about 10 Mythium behind XGod and Green. But having said that, Ashton is pulling ahead as to be expected. He's generated about 30 Mythium more than anybody else in the game.
Yep.
And also, Julian is playing the Cartel.
Oh, you're right, yeah. So as soon as Wave 11 kicks in, he needs to be ahead. He can't just be going even with the other players.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really needs to do some heavy push and just get back in the game. I mean, he's in the game right now, but he can be in trouble after 10.
And some more brutes from Green, targeting this weak wave 7 of Priestess. And I mean, this is just a lot of bad units on the wave.
Yeah, XGod obviously sees it coming, so he's going for a hardened Mudman here, just trying to defend the send he knows is coming. But this is 3 brutes coming out from Greenspirit. I think XGod is going for a bit of a leak here on 7.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I worry sometimes when you play like angler builds and then you have a unit that wants to use Steed. It just hurts the Steed's value so much.
Ashton, though, he should be more than fine. I think Bernt just missed having 60 Mythium here on 7. Interesting whether he would have sent a brute if he had achieved that, because that could have got a leak out of Ashton. But as it is, Ashton's going to be more than fine. And of course, XGod is leaking, although it's actually not as bad as I thought it could be. This is a 65% leak here, and it's mainly just the brutes.
Yeah, he had some nice aggro there. Holding pretty good, considering his situation.
Yeah.
Definitely good hold with the values, with the units he had, and the sand he was facing. Ashton is pushing 13 workers, not more. He could probably, but he was probably reading that it was not full sand, so he's gonna prepare a bit more.
XGod, he is pretty low workers. He was on 7 workers for wave 7, by the way, so he did do very well against the big send there from Green, but he was very, very low workers until now, where he's still only on par with Bernt, but Bernt has those pack rats.
Yeah, he is behind Julian in terms of like Mythium generated, but you know, he is on the lock-in, so we should expect him to be a bit behind compared to everyone else.
Julian is saving quite a lot. He's gonna get some nice value for wave 10, 7s. For 9, I mean.
He could go for something like an Ogre on 9. He's going to be able to hit that 200 Mythium mark pretty soon. So if he does want to do that, he can. Greenspirit is holding against the 140 send, it looks like. Bernt is holding against the Fiend, so that's totally fine. Does he hit 200 Mythium? He does. Will he pull the Ogre button? He will. Okay, there it is. The big yellow guy. Ashton, what is your answer for this? Because this is a serious send.
He has an Orchid in the splits and an Avenger in the main side, so that's a lot of Swift armor. He doesn't have much fortified, but against the Ogre, these units can do pretty good.
Yeah,
it's very good units versus Ogre, but not versus the wave.
Yeah.
I can imagine he will boost, and the Orchid can probably clear the right side.
Although Ashton, it seems, does not want to waste any gold, so he's not even boosting here.
That's kind of misplay.
Yeah, but XGod is playing plus 105 value, right? So I think Ashton's just thinking his teammates got him no matter what.
Oh, the Avenger doesn't even tank for the Slime Mommy.
Yeah, pretty...
So it just insta-dies.
Pretty bad aggro, honestly, for Ashton Butcher. It looks like he's going to go for a leak, but even then, he's doing very well.
Just the Ogre, yeah. I mean, he's just got good value, good units, so he can DPS a lot of the wave down.
I think with the boost he might hold, but
Yeah.
This is very, very good.
Hey, he's
Like,
totally fine with the way this played out. He
Yeah,
has the
exactly,
worker lead. He leaks only the ogre. He didn't have to spend any permanent gold on that orchid boost, and now he has 17 workers compared to the 11 on BerntDasBROT, who, remember, guys, is playing cartel.
Yeah, his spot is a bit trickier for sure. It's gonna be more if he can be ahead of XGod in the game, and more between Green and Ashton as the carry roles this game, I think.
Oh. We are going to have an Ashton problem on our hands, I think, guys, in this game, because he really is off to a very strong start.
Yeah, and he found a good Ford tank to fix his weakness, perhaps, on 12.
Yeah, the bunk, very, very solid. Just rounds his roll off perfectly, almost.
Yeah, and he has a good hero or vamp aura. This is, I know he loves to put the bunk on the ABS or the Firelord and stuff.
I think the one thing that Ashton is lacking in his role is some sort of single target magic damage, but he has all of the other types covered very nicely.
I also want to point out that the cartel overall in this game is strange pick to me, because you want to pick it when there's like offensive spells most, or like a venture editor or something, and you are expecting to get ahead and pick those spells or just finish the game sooner. But with 3 super hard defensive spells, it's not that appealing, because the game is usually going longer than 13 or 14 with those spells.
Fair.
For sure.
And with the cartel penalty kicking in and Bernt having the lowest workers in the game, he is going to start falling off pretty hard in the next few waves, I think.
Yeah.
We have some serious Smithium stored by XGod and Ashton. They have more than 300 each, and the sense looks like it's gonna be 13.
Yeah, it's tricky because Julian and Green have different strong waves, but you probably just want to target Green at this point.
Yeah. Having said that, though, Bernt, despite being like in a really rough spot right now, if he does get Ascend on wave 13, and if he is able to hold it, maybe that gives him a way back into the game, you know?
Yeah. He is looking like an absolute beast there.
Yeah. Of course, XGod... Come again?
Yeah. Do you think he can hold 13 with those values? I mean, he has units, but the value is gonna be lacking.
Yeah, I think he should not go for the Avenger like he was thinking. Yeah, I like just going for tanks since you have so much damage already.
That's a good choice. I think the Zeuses deal a ton of damage on 13, and he can even upgrade that Starcaller as well. Then those Zeuses are really, really threatening.
Yeah, Starcaller should be the choice for sure.
And it's just Income King here from Bernt and Green, so they're definitely expecting the 13 send. And here it comes from XGod and Ashton. We have 4 Eyes Witch and Snail Spam. We have 4 Eyes Imps and Mole. Let's see, Bernt and Green, how well can you do against these sends? Because they're pretty big.
Yeah, the Divine is going to let basically mean that you can never full send here on 13. Like, it's just almost always old.
Yeah. Even though XGod's like pretty far undervalue, he has the Pegasus, he has the Divine Blessing Azeria, he's just holding more or less anything, especially with the fairly low worker counts on the side of Bernt and Green.
Yeah, I think this is going to come down to if Julian can hold, because I don't think Green has a chance, looking at the fact that he's gone, and he has okay tanks.
He does have a Fatalizer with Hero Aura.
Yeah.
But yeah, the send is massive.
Smaller send. Yeah.
The send is massive. 520 for Bernt, 600 for Green. Let's see if we can watch both lanes, because Greenspirit, I mean, he's actually doing quite well. He's only leaking 1 of the golems plus the ranged units. Bernt, though, with those Zeuses buffed by the Starcaller aura, he's doing extremely well as well, leaking just 1 low HP creep and a 4 Eyes. And yeah, I mean, they're going to take some king damage, but really it's not that bad.
Yeah, could have been worse for sure, but
worse,
they're still behind.
They was behind and now they are even more behind. They taking damage, they giving gold to XGod and Ashton. They are way behind in workers, so
yep. It's gonna be some overbuild action, I think.
Very good odds, but they still lost some resources there.
Yeah, and Ashton is just having the game of his life at this point. He has 27 workers. He's on a 100 gold shutdown bounty, by the way, because he's so far ahead economically. This is a pretty rough spot. But having said that, we've seen Burnt and Green work their way out of a couple of rough spots already on the cast today, so I really am hesitant to count these guys out.
I would do it, but because I saw that they can do one thing and execute it perfectly, I'm not gonna call it yet. Over.
I mean, I think their plan is to try and skip 15 and hold.
Yeah, and go for a wave 16 send.
There are some workers here.
Yeah.
Those are pretty strong.
I mean, Ashton and XGod, they're determined not to be caught out again. They're going for a big, heavy push into this wave 15 play. They're saying, okay, Burnt and Green, you guys want to overbuild and starve. Well, we're going to push and send you more Mythium than you can possibly deal with.
I think this Shaman doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like Needler or something like a big tank would be making more sense versus like an OT build.
Yeah.
I can see the Kraken there.
Yeah. Kraken is good, Siege Ram is good.
But the stun is still very
big,
strong.
yeah.
Very big, yeah, so.
They have got fully upgraded King attack though, with only 62% HP. They can afford to leak maybe the boss plus Shaman, but not much more.
Yeah. I think Green is gonna have some trouble here.
But Jesus, those
sense,
like they can.
Oh, that Needler popped off twice. This is the pretty decent leak here. He is getting some damage into the boss.
The boss is dead and
Burnt is killing his boss. Okay, that's pretty solid there from BerntDasBROT. He does leak. It's only 64%, and with Green's boss being at least damaged somewhat, they are going to survive here, I think.
Yeah. But even though they saved, like Ashton and XGod can send almost the same on the 16.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Like they're generating so much more Mythium.
And yeah, sure, they survive, but it's 2% HP, guys. Like, even the smallest leak now. It only takes one ogre to walk down there and fart on their king, and this game is over.
And Ashton and XGod aren't even going to income. They're just going to get some king. And build for 17?
Yeah. I mean, XGod's very undervalued here. He's 700 under. Ashton's going to be about 500 under when he's finished building here. But I don't know, guys. Like, they can't really die on 16 if they have max king spell, and they do. And XGod's actually going for a post-income send. This is spicy now. So they've read that Burnt wants to suicide push into Ashton, and they're just going to try and get a ton of gold here.
Ashton saving.
Okay. Interesting. So how are they doing against these sends? Because XGod gets 580, Ashton gets 600. The Azeria is still alive, just generating infinite value there with that Divine Blessing, getting so much healing in. Even the white main taking the damage. So sure, the Azeria goes down, but it's just done its job so well here. And meanwhile, Ashton is fully holding the 600 send there from Burnt.
Very nice build for 16 on Ashton. It's the hero.
Burnt does hold his double imp send there from XGod, but I mean, guys, again, I really don't want to call it again for Burnt and Green being out of the game, but this one, surely they can't come back. Not this time, not the third time in a row.
I mean, they can't even save that Mythium to break Ashton or XGod anymore with those markers.
Yeah, I mean, 18 is coming, right?
And Ashton, once again, has double the worker count of both of his opponents here on Wave 17. This guy is on an absolute roll in this game. What's his shutdown bounty at now? 275 shutdown. Wow.
Oh, man.
All right, Burnt and Green, what is your plan here in this game?
Ooh, Hardens.
Okay.
Maybe trying to protect them from like a full Sui Re or something crazy like that, but I mean, Ashton will probably hold longer than XGod anyway on 18.
Yeah, Ashton's pretty solid on 18. Like, he has very bad damage there, but the triple hero Sovereign is just tanking for days.
He hasn't got the coiler, so you can't really send 4-eyes stuff like that.
Now, we do get full sends from all the players. XGod is full pushing, it seems, to try and break BerntDasBROT.
Yeah, and Green going for some income. So
alright, so he's read
I don't know
it.
if he has the read, but
Wow.
that's bold. I mean, he does have, like, an infinite amount of Thetas. That's 4. Pretty good on 18.
Yeah.
He
But
is
no
getting,
split.
like, yeah, he's getting, like, a 2k send with no split on 18. So.
Yeah, that is the problem with a gun build, right? Because 18 does the splash damage, so if all of your units are concentrated in the middle like this... Oh, we got this from Bernt.
They can fuck off, trust. I misclipped the imps on 16, by the way.
Oh, XGod, I did think that was a bit of a weird play, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think he actually wanted to...
Okay, so here are the wave 18 sends. There's 540 Income King against XGod. There's 540 Siege Ram Income King against Ashton. Greenspirit with your infinite fatalizers. How are you doing here on wave 18? Will it be enough? The answer is no. He's leaking 180% there against the massive send from Ashton Butcher. And BerntDasBROT finally leaking here on wave 18, crumbling under XGod's full push. But Ashton, oh Ashton, easily holding and covering some in the mid. This is a very nice game here. XGod and Ashton closing it out on 18, drawing the series 1-1 as we move into game number 3 now.
Yeah, well played.
Yep.
Look at the graph there was behind early game.
Interesting. So, that goes to show, because Burnt and Green, they deviated from their normal game plan, right? Like, they like to be behind in the early game. And here they were somehow magically ahead in the early game, and as a result, they end up losing.
Yeah, I think that 9 send just basically gave them no chance to get Ashton again.
Yeah, with this 260 send where Ashton leaks nothing but an ogre, I mean, this is just very, very rough now. Ashton is just unstoppable from this point on, it seems. He pushes to 17 workers. He's way ahead of everybody else. He then gets Income King on 13, where they get a bit more king damage against Burnt and Green. And he's just able to push hard and still hold the 600 send on 16, closing out the game there with this enormous 1.4k send against Greenspirit on wave 18. So very, very nicely played there from Team XCrash.
Very nice. They keep the pressure and they just go for the king damage, like 13, 15, and just finish the game. So no more Income King ups.
No more Income King ups. Yeah, they didn't make the same mistake they did in game number 1. Alright, guys, so now the series is tied. It is a best of 5, so we do need one team to win 3 games in order to take home the trophy. But everything so far is even Stevens. I mean, it could go either way. XGod and Ashton may be riding high off the back of that last game, and we'll have to see who is able to take the lead now as we move into game number 3.
Yeah. I think Julian and Green can be happy. It's 1-1 so far after 2 games, because they could be very easily be 0-2 now.
Yeah. After the upset in game number 1, right? Like, that was a real steal from those guys, because they were dead in game number 1, and they still managed to bring it back.
And I hope they will change some parts of their gameplay. I would like them to push more and maybe go for some more risky play. Or like Fiesta. I actually like to see Fiesta.
Yeah.
Or something like just get something done. And you really need to push into Ashton if you want to do any damage.
Yeah. Like, you cannot play scared, right, against Ashton and XGod, because if you're playing scared, especially against a player like Ashton, and you're not pushing the workers, like, you think you're being safe by building a little bit more value, by maybe not pushing the extra worker just to be on the safe side, but Ashton's just going to exploit that, because he will push that worker. And he will be on 50% more workers than anybody else in the game by the time Wave 10 rolls around. And we've seen already in the first 2 games, despite the fact that they lost in game 1, like he was just so far ahead of everybody else in both games. Like this is Ashton Butcher at his finest, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they don't stop him, it's gonna be just Ashton's show. But yeah, I think we will see some fiesta from Julian this game. I can smell it.
You can smell it in the air. But remember, XGod was smelling that last game as well because he snailed Burnt on Wave 1.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, Burnt was not Fiesta, but he did leak with his Gate Guard with his 2 Pancrats, so that was a pretty good start there from XGod already, and maybe he goes for it again. As we go into Game 3, we'll have to see. The players just asked for a quick 1 minute before we go into the next game, so we do need to pad a little bit more while the players entertain each other, it seems, just waiting for Burnt to come back. He's probably practicing his building skills, I'm sure. Oh, by the way, guys, while we're waiting for the players to come back, I've heard some very exciting news from the developers just before we started the finals. Legion TD2 actually hit the highest number of players ever online today. I think it was just over 6,000 or something like that, all online at the same time. Ooh. So the big marketing push weekend, it really has paid off, it seems. We had a ton of new players. I hope all of those new guys are enjoying the game. I know we love it a lot. I hope you will come to love it just as much as we do. All right. Thankfully, the players are back, and now we can stop padding for time and get straight into the action because game number 3 is here. Both teams are tied 1-1 in this best of 5 series. Let's see who can take the lead as we see game number 3.
Yeah, hoping Ashton will show us his 3rd mastermind.
Oh, Pixie with Fiesta. That's
what a nice cheater.
Nice.
Oh, double Fiesta. Bernt and Ashton both picking up the Fiesta. And yeah, BerntDasBROT, despite the 50% reduced chances of rolling it, he has got that seedling with his Fiesta.
And it's actually so good that also Ashton picked Fiesta because it's a good advantage if your Fiesta is sending into opponent's Fiesta.
And he can just generate absolutely obscene amounts of Mythium as well, right? Because he can push without any fear, he's happy to leak a little bit, and he's just going to get +5 Mythium every time those Chloropixies die. Greenspirit, meanwhile, his roll's actually not amazing for covering, I don't think. You really want something that generates like free value, you know? Stuff like Gate Guard, Atom, stuff like that is perfect for covering your Fiesta teammate. He has got Pilgrim.
Pilgrim, yeah, exactly. Pilgrim can be the unit that can cheat some extra value.
Yeah.
In mid.
Now,
the rats while playing Fiesta tech?
Apparently so. Now, Ashton, he does not have a good Fiesta opener, so he's going with the Treant, which of course does not leak on Wave 1, but I expect him to just push really hard and then presumably leak on Wave 2. Oh, he's got the Windhawk.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Oh, and the snail came out from Bernt as well. So Bernt is sniffing things correctly, it seems. This is going to be a big leak against the Butcher with a very long wave here on Wave 1 because Bernt is leaking himself, but only 3 creeps on the side of the builder. Meanwhile, the Butcher leaks 11.
Everything we say goes wrong, like... You don't want to have long waves, it's Peckrats, but Ashton is playing Fiesta and the Peckrat, so he's like...
he's kind of fine with it.
He kept that tree now, for sure.
Yeah. And such a long waves this is gonna be, and like this should benefit Julian so much in this game.
He's gotta deal with the 60 cent from XGod, but I think he doesn't care that much about holding it.
I mean, the
Gets
send.
2 Harpies, yeah, I mean...
2 Harpies, adds a Pixie as well, or adds a Seedling as well, I should say. He's on 200 value, so even though he has 5 workers, he's basically on 4 worker value here, just because he got so much gold from Ashton's leak, and his own Fiesta, of course.
Ashton's gonna hide that he's Fiesta. Knows that he can get a 40 here, so just 5 worker to keep the rat up.
And he only receives
Julian
one
also with the
snail
correct
from
read.
Burnt. Yeah, so that's very, very good. Burnt is playing out of his mind here in game number 3, it seems. When the chips are down, he really does pull out all the stops.
And Green making the correct decision to overbuild.
Yep. Burnt, I mean, it's a 64% leak, but again, I think he's perfectly fine with that. He's got his Pixie Mythium, he's got his Fiesta value, he's got 6 workers. I think he's very pleased with the way this game is going.
Oh, okay, they sent 3. I was wondering
I
if
go
they
4, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say that they can go super hard on 4, like when they saw those 2 units and those 2 units, like 4 was so appealing.
Yeah. The 60 cent
Yeah,
can still get some damage in against Ashton, though. I mean, the Treant is so good on the first wave that you place it, right? Like, he might just do extremely well here. It might even be a hold.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of a beast. I wonder what its threshold is on wave 3, actually. I haven't seen it. Is it just 2-shotting them?
Oh, the casket, yeah. So XGod, he's easily holding. Ashton, I mean, his Treant actually is the last unit to take focus. So Burnt leaking 50% to no send is perfect
wow,
for his
it's actually-
Fiesta.
It's a really bad threshold, actually. It
Yeah.
takes 3 shots, leaves them at 1 HP.
Takes 3 shots, but more to the point, the Treant just didn't take enough of the aggro, so the Pack Rat and the Windhawk both dying very early, results in a 44% leak for Ashton. He is Fiesta though, so, you know, could be worse.
Yeah. He's Fiesta and he has Pixie, so he's definitely fine with leaking.
See what Julian decides to build here, because he's got kind of funny gold. Okay, well, I forgot. You can just build more pixies.
Yeah, looks good to me. Only 1 more pro leak, then he can push full.
Yep. Just get the casket ready for 7 so he doesn't leak everything.
Oh, these are some pretty big sends though. So 80 for Burnt, 80 for Green, 60 for XGod. XGod though, I think he's going to be okay. Although, having said that, his casket is dying very early, and that's really all of his damage on this wave.
Yeah.
That might be pretty bad news. I think I called that way too soon. He does kill the Fiend at least. Burnt, 63% leak. Greenspirit, of course, is holding. Ashton is holding. And XGod, 67% leak there against the Fiend.
Fiesta mate covering, don't worry.
Yeah, and he also couldn't back red in, so yeah, everything is going wrong for XGod and Ashton right now. Let's see what is the plan for Julian and Green. They could try to go big sends on 7 maybe, or 8.
Yeah,
They
I
can
think.
still do it, right? Or
Yeah, 8 looks promising, yeah.
It looks very good if they can do it right now, but XGod and Ashton is saving, so maybe they will be in trouble on 7.
Julian going for 1 more pixie here. I think he's just gonna easy hold 5 though, like this.
Yeah, I mean, the triple Pixie is just so much damage against Wave 5, even though the boss is going right, I think.
Wow, Ashton greeted so hard here when Julian can actually send him 120.
I mean, it's a good read.
Yeah. And none of his pixies died.
Yeah, that's
None of them? Oh, that's pretty bad, actually.
Yeah.
All 3
the
staying
price
alive.
for overbuilding.
Yeah. BerntDasBROT, always a very interesting player, Fiesta player to watch, because he's one of the few Fiesta players that likes to stay on or plus value every single wave.
He only leaks to Ogre on 7, right?
Yeah. Oh, but then he'll get his Fiesta value. Whoa!
Yeah.
What a beast!
So they go
Wow.
for some income here, actually.
Yeah, here comes the Drake from Burnt. I mean, it is income, but it's very good send, actually, against Ashton's board, because he has the Windhawk, he has the Treants, he has even the Pack Rat if he decided to keep that above. The Drake is good against all of those units. So Ashton, I think he will leak here against the income send. Probably won't be terrible. It might be something like just the Drake on its own, and that would be a very good Fiesta for him, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, but XGod is also getting sand. He has Casket for 7, and this long wave will enable to send Ogres on 7. So it might not be that great to leak Ashton here.
Yeah, this is 160 send. It's actually not too shabby. And I'm sure Ashton is going to get one more Rocco, but that's about it. So it will be a decent 65% leak there against the Butcher. XGod, though, he's easily holding the DT send here on 6, and he's even going to be able to cover at least the 2 Roccos, I think. Probably can't kill the Drake.
There is something to be said about skipping that income on 4, or on 5, I mean, to try and send together.
Yeah.
On 6.
Yeah, this is a very, very long wave. Meanwhile, XGod has 12 workers. Ashton has 10. Do they send on 7? No. Okay, they do. Okay, that was a very last second send there from XGod.
And Green actually pre-built for 7 last wave. Built double gun on 6. So had the perfect read.
Yeah, as a result, though, Ashton is just sending Cannoneers here. He's not really expecting Green to leak with the double gun and the double Green Devil. He's more than fine. But XGod is going for a full send here against Burnt. But BerntDasBROT, 890 value, wave 7, 2 Cursed Caskets, 1 Sky Queen and a couple of Harpies. I think he's going to perform just fine here, honestly.
Unfortunately, he also has 300 of pixie value, which is pretty miserable on this wave.
One of Green's
he will
guns...
kill a lot of stuff.
One of Green's guns did get sniped, so that's kind of bad for him. He should still be able to hold, although having said that, there's only really one gun alive. Burnt, 96% leak. Greenspirit, I mean, he's actually leaking. The Cannoneers are both getting through, and that's because one of his cannons got sniped by the Cannoneer there. XGod leaks 44%, but fine, Ashton is going to cover that, and there will be a decent chunk of king damage here on wave 7.
Yeah, I think you have to say this is a very good turn of events for XGod and Ashton.
Yeah, very good. And it's just the too much send on 5 and 6, and they just allow display when they just could do the same to them because they could leak them. But also, if Ashton decide to go for Ogre Brute, that will be so much king damage.
Yeah, was a bit greedy to send to Ashton.
Yeah, but still very good result. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's perfectly happy with the way that turned out. And once again, we see XCrash with the worker lead over their opponents, with Ashton being 2 workers ahead of Burnt. Of course, you have to account for the pixies as well, though, really, which is kind of pseudo workers.
Yeah, his total Mythium is roughly the same. Wonder what the plan is.
Julian protected his pixies here well.
So none of them died. Yeah, very good.
no bonus Mythium.
Yeah, very, very solid there. Now we have more income send coming out from Ashton, and once again it is a full send from XGod, but BerntDasBROT dropping the Great Boar here. Perfect tank on wave 9. Let's see how well he's able to perform here. He changes his mind.
Yeah. It's almost never right on on 9 to send Mimic, just because everyone will build Fortified or Natural, but...
I don't know if he wants to just get
snack some...
Burnt, though, Burnt is not only building for 10, he's also shifting 200 gold.
What?
Burnt, I think you're going to be regretting that decision in around about 10 seconds' time.
I mean, he will leak.
Yeah, he's going to leak massively. Greenspirit, he's doing very well. The Vulcan Cannon's still alive. 80% leak there for BerntDasBROT. Greenspirit does hold this time, though. His Vulcan Cannon more than enough to fend off those last few Carapaces and the Cannoneer. But let's see, how much gold on this Mimic? 21 gold on the Mimic there from XGod, snacking on Burnt, who shifted 200 gold but lived to regret it seems.
Witch on 10. That's a spicy one.
Okay, let's have a look. So
If you didn't like Ogre.
XGod is just spamming Disciples here. Very, very good single target damage against the boss on 10, of course. But those snails can be pretty handy for distracting their spells. And the Witch, of course, is just a ton of added damage here on wave 10.
They're just on value.
They are on value, yeah. I mean...
Might just be easy ults, I think. They just donated a little too much gold on 9.
Yeah, Ashton with the double alpha male, like these units are perfect on 10. The Sky Queen, of course, is a ton of DPS as well. The sends are massive, though. 360 Mythium for both players here.
Yeah.
The Witch is doing work. The Snails have tanked a bunch of Disciple shots in XGod's lane. It's down to the last Harbinger. The Harbinger does get another summon off. That might make the difference here. Ashton, I mean, his melee units are still going down, but that is a hold from Ashton. And XGod, that is a hold from you as well. So both XCrash members holding the full 360 cents on 10. This just puts them in a fantastic position as we move into the mid-game.
I think the Witch is just too slow on 10. Like even if Ogre isn't the best attack type, it just does so much damage, and it can even tank a little bit as well. Compared to the Witch, which just kind of AFKs in the back.
Yeah. Also, maybe they could go 11, but I guess they was scared from the 2 defensive spells. But they could definitely send a lot with speed tier on 11.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be a little bit better, but hard to go versus Divine Blessing.
Yeah, and the tree is just so broken on 11. Like, he could Magician, like, 2 trees or something like that.
Yeah.
It might just be easy hold as well.
Yeah.
I think they just needed to hold that 9, and then their game would have more options.
Yeah, and they could have held that 9 as well, right? I think it was a bit of a misread of the situation there with Bernt, 1, building the Sky Queen instead of the Great Ball, and then 2, just shifting a ton of gold there, because he should have been able to, if not hold, at least do way, way better.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to get out on 10. Maybe
like with the boar, he would probably hold on 9, right?
Yeah, it's
200 something gold.
I mean, he's for sure doing
like,
better than an 80%
upgrade or something.
Yeah. Alright, so this seems to be a story that we've seen before, guys, with Ashton pulling ahead of all of the other players. He's on fire here, it's a 50 gold shutdown, he's got the most workers, he's got the most income, he's in a very comfortable position. The one thing this game, though, is that XGod is struggling somewhat. He's at the bottom of the power score table, Bernt and Green both ahead, but having said that, Greenspirit's cartel penalty has just kicked in, so he's going to start dropping off now that we move into the mid-game.
Yeah, it just makes sense because they are playing with the Fiesta mates and they was forced to stay low workers in the early game while their mates was pushing heavy. So this is usually the case when you play with Fiesta.
What is full income from Green, full tryhard from Julian? I mean, guess you can try to leak this build on 13 just because it's like the trees are actually not that good there, but he is on value.
What do you think about the brutes?
Well, they are going to die.
Yeah, but what are they doing? Like,
yeah, the brutes are not doing very much at all. If anything, they're just going to get popped when the Tree of Knowledge is die and get off that massive magical AoE spell. Like, those brutes are just going to disintegrate, I think. Let's watch this happen.
I think just if Green was going to income king, I think it would have been fine to income king as well.
Yeah. Okay, 2 trees are dead and the brutes are already gone. Oh, that third tree even got off the spell.
Wasted Mythium there.
Yeah, that could have been like anything else, I think. Probably just magical range damage is better. I mean, sure, Ashton's leaking, and this is a shutdown for 50 gold, but XGod holds against the income king, and they just have no pressure now. XGod and Ashton, they have a ton of Mythium.
Yeah, they're looking a bit dead on 15, unless Julian... I mean, Julian has an insane build, don't get me wrong. Disciple Boar with Arcane Tank as well. And he is on value, so maybe he can hold.
He's on value here on 14. That's going to be a different story on 15, though. Especially because, once again, XGod is pushing those workers. So he's down at 2.4k value. He's on 29 workers. Ashton's pushing really hard as well. He's up at 33. We'll have to see. BerntDasBROT and Greenspirit, are they able to survive the onslaught that's coming for them on wave 15?
I think they're in trouble.
I mean, 15 just does so much damage as well. Like, even if you clear decently, like, you really just need, like, Needler, boss or something, and you just die.
Julian has very good setup. Maybe he can do well, but Green should be in a lot of trouble to face like this 1 point something k cent.
They both go for the income here from Burnt and Green, just desperately trying to survive. Ashton and XGod, the sends coming out from these guys are massive. Ashton even pushed 2 workers to no send, by the way. Just really smells blood here on the other side of the field. And he just wants to go for it and close out the game on 15. We do see the king upgrades coming from Green and Burnt, but this really is some copium now, I think, because these sends are absolutely enormous.
Yeah, XGod send is very weird, but he does have a habit of clicking imps accidentally, so maybe we can forgive him.
Yeah, he just wanted to send 1 from each.
Alright. Guys, look at these sends here. There's a 980 Mythium in BerntDasBROT's lane. There's 1,200 in Greenspirit's lane. Those Needlers are even getting spells to add insult to injury. I mean, even having said that, he's doing well, but he's still going to be a massive leak. Burnt, though, can he kill the boss? No! He leaks the boss on 100 HP. It's healing now with the Hermit as well, and I think this is just GG here on wave 15.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Very, very well played from XCrash.
Same story, they just need to save a bit longer. Sorry, bro.
Very gentlemanly there from Ashton Butcher, apologising for his role, but surely the power index cannot fault him for playing Steed with Magician with the Tree of Knowledge. Like, it's an absolute dream role there for Ashton, but he played it fantastically. And I have to say, XGod and Ashton, they do seem, to me at least, to be playing cleaner than Burnt and Green. Like, sure, Burnt and Green won in game 1, but we all know that they kind of snatched that from the jaws of defeat, right? Whereas Ashton and XGod's wins have been a lot more clinical, a lot cleaner. They've controlled the pace of the game. And here we see they actually still have 100% King HP remaining on wave 15.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the game was going like in a good way for Julian and Green. They have the upper hand on the Fiesta, sending it to Fiesta. They have some lead on early game, but then just this leak on 6, and XGod and Ashton was saving, and then just punched them on 7, taking big damage. And then the greed from Julian, he wanted to go for some leak and get Fiesta, but he was heavily punished by that.
On wave
and
9, yeah.
On wave 9, and that gives them so much gold, and then they were saving. On 10 didn't work out, and after 10 it's just GG.
Yeah, after wave 10 it's pretty much done for. And sure, they managed to get a little bit of shutdown from Ashton on wave 13, but it's just nowhere near enough. And it just means that they can push way more workers to get this absolute killer send out on 15. Really, really well played there from Team XCrash.
Yep. Does look like Green and Julian are going to switch up the sending order maybe this time round. So maybe that will be what they need.
Oh, interesting. So we have Greenspirit sending into Ashton now and Burnt sending into XGod.
Or? Well, now Greenspirit is playing as spectator, so...
Okay, I mean, maybe he's had enough. Can't blame him, to be honest.
I'll take the spot for this game.
Okay, damn, it's time to step in.
We do need to see one Chaos game, right?
At least one Chaos, please.
But guys, this is match point now. XGod and Ashton, they only need one more win, and they will be the July Nova Cup champion. So that's pretty hype. I would really, really love to see Burnt and Green take this game number 4, though, because everybody here wants to see game number 5, right? I want to see game number 5. Ofma and Adams, I know you guys do. Burnt and Green, they probably want it more than anyone, but all the people at home as well. And by the way, we actually have 1,230 viewers right now, which is, I think, the most we've ever had on the Nova Cup cast. So amazing. Welcome everyone to the stream. I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying seeing this very, very high quality Legion gameplay from these two teams. You are watching the best of the best right now.
They all came for Adam's first cast.
Yeah, Adam's clearly the big draw here. We should have had you on earlier, dude.
True. No, I could be in the chair of Julian on Green, as usual.
I wonder what Ashton will pick this game. I don't know if is he willing to play YOLO again?
Oh, of course, because he lost with YOLO, didn't he? So he still has that available. But, I mean, Ashton
I
is a
haven't seen him pick
YOLO
anything
main.
else.
He plays YOLO pretty much exclusively on the ladder, so he's very, very experienced with that mastermind. And now that he's on the match point, I think he might just go back to it, even though YOLO is very risky to pick up in tournament play.
I think he's gonna be happy to play YOLO.
Yeah.
If it is finally available to him.
Yeah. I have to say as well, guys, I'm really pleased for Legion that the weekend has gone so well. They've attracted so many new players. It's really great, and I hope the game continues to grow. But guys, we are about to hop into game number 4. There is everything to play for here. XGod and Ashton, they have match point advantage. Greenspirit and Burnt, they need to win this one just for a chance to see game number 5. But let's see as we move into game number 4.
This can be also a long game. It's the all defensive spells, very defensive spells.
Yeah. We get the chaos.
And I see the chaos, so okay, everything is fine then.
Nice luck, nice luck. Now, Adams, it's almost impossible for me to cast Chaos games without being salty. But I'm going to leave this one to you, I think. Every time XGod needs to make a decision on a certain wave, you're the Chaos Master. You tell me what's going through his head, because the only thing I can say is, oh, he's just going to flip a coin.
Just roll the dice.
Just roll the dice. And Ashton's on Castle, actually. That one really surprises me, because this, of course, is the slowest early game mastermind option, and Ashton is not a slow early game player. So I'm kind of interested to see how he plays this one out. It's really not where I would think that Ashton would go in the all-important game 4 here.
Yeah, I'm also surprised he picked it. I don't think it's a good spell for him. It's not very fitting, because when he excels, it's in pushing, and this kinda is not very good for pushing. And he needs to stay over warriors just to get the units.
Okay, I was wondering if Ashton's gonna greed his positioning or not. It's leaking pretty bad, the snail, but he's not getting it.
He's not getting a snail, but look at this XGod. I mean, if that's not giving away the fact that he's playing Chaos, I don't know what is, because he's added a Gargoyle and a second Bone Warrior on wave 1. So I think Greenspirit and Burnt already know what XGod is cooking over here.
Positioning is not even correct for wave 3. Like I think this Fire Archer is gonna overtank if you get a 60 cent. But maybe he has different plans and he's just trying to trick them.
Yeah, he should be fine with the Gargoyle already, right? So,
yeah, he's very fine here,
Yeah.
There's no way he can leak, especially not with only a 20 cent from Burnt. So Burnt, of course, is just going to hold on to his Mythium here. Greenspirit doing the same. In fact, all 4 players are just chilling with their Mythium here. 5 workers for 3 of the players, only 4 for BerntDasBROT, of course, falling behind, as to be expected.
Julian has some weird nightmare roll, like he has the Yozora and Serpent in the same roll. So I will be looking for reroll in his case very soon.
Yep.
Yeah, if he can pick up a fort tank, that would be very nice. And some magic damage.
He
also needs magic damage as well, yeah.
He has 3 Swift units there with the Serpent, the Nightmare, and the Azora, and what makes it worse is that his other unit is the Shroom, which is arcane, so he's very, very weak to pierce damage right now.
Okay.
I mean, we said that Ashton was on a slow mastermind, but he's still on 6 workers. He's still ahead of both Green and Burnt here already on wave 3.
He doesn't have money to get a Proton.
He's 210 value here.
I also feel like Ashton is getting some free games. Like, I didn't saw him getting any real big saves or big non-income cents, and he's just always getting away with his push.
Yeah. He really does get away with murder, and I think if Greenspirit had sent a 60 here, he would have leaked pretty decently, right? Because maybe the thing wouldn't have got off its second spell, but like this, it's just an easy hold. Oh, but XGod, though!
Yeah.
His Fire Archer died way too early, and as a result, what could have been a fairly easy hold, it's a 72% leak here.
Has to go back to positioning school. If the Fire Archer's half down from where it is, it's an easy hold, I think. Or, I mean, when it leaks a lot smaller.
Yeah, you was mentioning it, Ofma.
But,
It wave 1, when he got exactly punished by it. And like, it's also funny because like he built those units on wave 3, on wave 1. So like opponents can like predict what is gonna be next moves, and he got punished with DT on the right and Snail to the left, right?
Yeah.
So just a little
Really
bit.
barely got it too. Oh, is this gonna leak full to this fiend?
Like the power of chaos is also to be like not predictable, so opponents don't know what to send, right? So they can fail the send. It's also the power of chaos. But he decides to not go with it.
Let's have a look here. This does look dangerous now for Ashton. Has he pushed too far? It looks like the answer is yes. He's only receiving a Fiend here from Bernt, but it's still a 58% leak. Luckily, XGod is holding, and actually Greenspirit is holding his 80 send as well, just barely. Look at that, the 2% HP remaining on the Archer. What a clutch hold there from Green.
Full sending Archer on 4 is pretty ballsy, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just expecting that he would full shift gold, but no, Greenspirit anticipated that. He built the Devilfish, and he was just more than fine.
Yep.
There's a fairly chunky send coming out here from 3 of the players, with Ashton sending 100. Maybe he has another Snail as well against Bernt. But Bernt, he does get that canopy upgraded here on 5, and he's going to be completely fine, I think.
I think he should still lick to this kind of send.
Yeah, he needs like very good aggro.
He needs the Nightmare to tank a few, which it does.
Yep.
Yeah.
The boss is down very, very quickly. Yeah, I think the canopy is maybe getting overwhelmed, but he's doing very well here. And what's more, he's ignoring that dino.
Yeah.
And now he's on it. Now he's on
you
it.
jinxed him.
Yeah, I did. Oh, but he does kill it. Wow. Wait, no, guys, he's just holding. What a beast.
Yeah.
His aggro was perfect.
No, I mean, I think it was a very nice ult, but also lucky, because I know that Juvis is doing those kinds of builds, but he's leaking.
Yeah.
It's also the type of build where if you get brooded on 5, you're leaking the whole way, basically.
Yeah, for sure, because the canopy just gets overwhelmed, right?
Yeah. But let's see if our boy Ashton can hold this Cannoneer on 6. He's once again undervalue with the castle.
That's such an important ult, and we see the worker lead on Green and Julian, like first time in this series.
Yeah,
Green popping off.
I don't think it's just the first time in the series. I think it's the first time in the entire weekend that we've seen Green and Bernt have a worker advantage over their opponents.
Maybe, yeah. I don't want to go into
Ashton, though, he is holding this 140 Mythium send from Greenspirit, and I mean, that worker situation is just going to flip on its head now because Ashton's going to push very hard.
Yeah, he needs to be careful on wave 8, right?
Yeah.
Not careful.
He's looking pretty bad on 9 as well, honestly. Like, he has got that Mudman in his role, but Green and Bernt don't know about that, so they could be planning a big wave 9 send.
XGod stuck in decision hell, trying to figure out if he should build Wild Shrooms or get his damage, and he's going for the Disciple, and the Mole is not going to be that good.
Currently, his Chaos roll is not looking that sexy. You usually want to have one unit to play around, so like he started to Crusher, and that's not the unit you want to play around.
Something like a Nightmare or a Priestess, something like that, you mean?
Yeah, exactly, like Priestess, Nightmare, Berserker or something to have like clear, weak and strong waves, and you can play around it.
Yep. Oh, he is sniping the Mole, though. Does just kill it in time, very nice. So he's going to leak, but it's only a small pro leak, really.
Could be worse.
Yeah, 46% there for XGod. Could have been way worse, especially if he leaked that Mole on low HP. That would have been a 70% leak instead.
Yeah. Let's see if Ashton can hold what I would assume would be a send from Green. I don't know if he's going to go full after income or not, but could be dangerous if he does.
Yeah, pretty.
Oh,
I mean,
that would be actually.
It's income only coming out from XGod and Ashton, but it is a large income send as well.
Yeah.
Though BerntDasBROT, he does get the banana bunk out here for wave 8, so he's going to be completely fine. And Greenspirit, I mean, he's dropping a couple of Tempests. And he, of course, has the Elite Archer already on the field, so he's going to be completely fine as well.
Julian is in such a spot that he can full push right now, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
He doesn't need to
spot
build
off.
on 9.
So I hopefully he goes and choose this line.
He has found the worker button, it seems. He's pushed up to the dizzy heights of 11. That's a personal record for Julian, I think.
Might be a record break, yeah.
Oh, 13,
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, like they are usually around 7 workers on 15, so...
Yeah. And Ashton, though, he's actually leaking to this 160 income only send from Greenspirit. So, I mean, sure, he's on Castle, but this is looking pretty good so far for Team Power Index.
Yeah, I mean, the snail soup wasn't enough to get his ability to pop off even.
Yeah.
So now he's not looking that good on 10. He has the Halo there, but I mean, enough big enough sends and the Halo's not gonna save you.
Okay, Julian gonna probably shift a little bit, maybe to get Haven on 10, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with it because he's saving Mythium, so it's fine that he didn't full push.
Yeah. And Burnt, I mean, he has 200 stored up in the bank already, so he really is placing pressure on XGod. And XGod's lane, I mean, this is looking like when your chaos goes wrong, right? Like, his units are all over the place. He hasn't really got any upgrades apart from the one Sky Queen.
He's probably trying to, like, do too many things at once.
Yeah.
And then it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I wasn't following his role, so maybe he was just unlucky.
He's probably just making the best of a bad situation, I would imagine. Alright, and a very slow wave there from Burnt. He's just sending income, actually, into XGod, so despite the fact that he had well over 200 Mythium, he's just going full income, which I think is kind of an interesting choice, honestly, because XGod's looking fairly weak here, but Burnt just wants to catapult himself. He wants to try and outcarry Ashton this time around.
Mm-hmm. XGod is in super high value, right?
He is.
1.5k almost, and quite decent units, I would say. Not the worst.
Yeah, so I don't hate the play. And actually, Greenspirit, he's on top of the power score. 25 gold shutdown here on 10. He won't be leaked, I don't think, especially not by Lizard King ups from XGod. So that's going to be a shutdown protected. With 300 Mythium, all income, though, by the way, sent into XGod's lane. How is he doing? Because if he leaks this, it's pretty bad for him, I think.
I think he's holding.
He is holding, okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's good. And
But,
Ashton
is not.
Ashton is leaking, but it's not terrible, honestly. Like, he gets a pack leader and a brute, and he's only leaking a low HP boss there. This could have been much worse, and especially with XGod holding his lane, they're going to take barely any king damage.
Yeah. And now it's castle time.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Ashton is at the same income, and now he will.
And now he's
jump
50
in.
ahead of everybody else, yeah?
Still, I think it's gonna be a little bit lead for Julian and Greenspirit. They had the worker advantage over XGod, but the income is the same, so I guess it's very even game.
Yeah. I guess the one saving grace, do we have net worth? We don't, okay. So I think the fact that they're kind of ahead in value while also having a couple more workers, sure, Ashton is going to catch up over the next few waves because he has that income lead, but right now Green and Burnt still have the advantage, so they need to try and identify a wave. Maybe it's going to be 13 where they can just go for a big leak against
Ooh.
XCrash.
Ashton going investment with his castle, so he's just 1 million
Oh
income
wow,
ahead. That's-
he's very, very high income indeed. He's also extremely low value here on wave 11, correctly reading that there's no resend coming from Green.
Yeah, he shifted like a bunch of gold here.
And probably Ashton has the best role from all the players, and he has the most income, so he can, if he is not gonna be stopped very soon, he can just control the game and be ahead. Like
Yeah.
he can kind of cover every wave from these units.
He gets the Hades out here. He's even shifting a bunch of gold. He knows the send is not coming on 12. And as well, remember we were saying that XGod was having a bit of a rough early game with his Chaos? Well, the thing about Chaos is it's almost always going to end up being the strongest late game board, because there's so many good synergies in the game. So the more waves you have, the more chances you have to roll those broken combos. So XGod is going to recover when this game carries on, I think, and he's going to end up being a bit of a powerhouse as well.
Yep.
I wonder what he's gonna do with this build though. I didn't saw too much Star Color with healing, so I'm not sure how strong that can be.
It's not bad if you get like DR units like the Alpha Male and the Garg. It's like, not bad healing.
Like they're clearly weak on 14, so
yeah.
And he's building more units
Yeah.
safe, while we see these units.
Ashton's also building for Wave 13. He added the Lioness here. Although, having said that, is he just going to shift 300 gold here?
Surely he's going to build some caskets.
Okay, no, he built another Lioness, right?
Another Lioness.
But again, he's just making himself weaker and weaker on 14, right? Like, he's very high value, but all of these natural armoured units are really bad there. His one big carry, the Hades, is just terrible on 14 as well.
Yeah, they clearly missed the situation here. And very nice play by Green and Julian. Like, their rolls are insane for wave 14, and they are gonna force this wave.
They're gonna force the issue. I have to say though, XGod did skillfully roll the Millennium for wave 14, so his build, which is looking garbage there, at least has some glimmer of hope. But he can never afford a Doomsday though, so Millennium, sure, it's good, but Doomsday's on a whole other power level.
Yeah, he whiffed on an Arcane tank, unfortunately.
Even Doomsday, I don't think it will be like saving grace. Like, he has 0 tanks. Like, he has a bunch of nature armor, and then have berserkers, so he's really lacking the tanks there.
Yeah, he's just building more deep damage because he didn't roll any good tanks.
Now, the thing is, Ashton's on very good value. He's almost on perfect value, in fact. But apart from the Trinity Archer, the Iron Maiden, and one Trinity Archer, all of his units are really bad here. So I do expect to see a decent-sized leak out of Ashton, and the same, really, from XGod, whose Chaos build just never really came together, at least not yet.
Yep. On the other hand, looks like Green.
Oh, that's a big leak on XGod there, 120%, and Ashton, he's not doing much better. There were full sends on Burnt and Green, but both of them hold their waves. This is a lot of king damage now on the side of XCrash, and guys, I don't want to call it too early because the game will carry on from this point, but I have a feeling we're going to see game number 5.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because Ashton has this income, this value. And
good rolls. Like, this was his weakest wave, and now he should be only strong. The issue is that they are very low.
Yeah.
And he's gonna face the biggest sense.
And the other thing is, like,
action.
Green and Burnt are both extremely strong on wave 16. And Ashton, although he's really good, maybe 17 is a weakness for him there. So I could see Green and Burnt maybe try to push a few workers on 16 and go for a big play on 17. Because XGod is probably going to leak any wave, really.
I think looking at their values, they might even be thinking of just going 18. Because they're both broken on 17 with the
everybody's shifting.
Everybody's shifting gold, yeah. Like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah.
Imagine they send here. Oh,
Alright, we do have double shutdown with Greenspirit on 50 gold bounty, BerntDasBROT also 50 gold bounty, so Jules is giving them a pretty healthy edge there. And XGod, I mean, he's actually leaking to no send. Will this trigger a send from Greenspirit and BerntDasBROT, or are they going to resist the bait here on wave 16? What do you think?
I think their units are just, I mean, Green looks
they're
way
so
too good
strong on 16, right?
Yeah, it's way too strong on 16.
It might trigger them to fully upgrade the spell just to be on the safe side.
But they're actually on value still.
Yeah, they shift 400, and this is the best wave for them, right? And they have full. So maybe if the king was not full, they would be more scared. But like this, they can just afford.
Yeah. They're chilling. They're not feeling the pressure here, and with 100% king HP as well, there's no reason for them to really.
And they
It
are,
does look like.
and they will also prepare like 17.
Yeah.
Right? So
XGod is just so far out of the game now. Like his chaos roll just never really paid off. He had such a rough early game, and now he's just on the struggle bus full time. It seems he's 690 undervalue, and the send on 17 is just going to be devastating for him.
Yeah, it does look like it has to be 17. Some big myth counts.
Yeah.
And XGod is about to be like 1k under if he skips.
Now, Ashton's very strong there, and do you know what? I don't agree with these ogres from Greenspirit. I mean, I know why he's sending them, because he's expecting Ashton to just spam a bunch of hardened golems, but we can see that Ashton's rolled that away, and all of his tank value is going to be these alpha males, which of course is natural HP. So I think, like, Four Eyes would, or even Witches would just be better for him here.
like he already had 5 alpha males, and the ogres are not great versus alpha males, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it was just imps, maybe, or Four Eyes.
Yeah,
Imps,
like,
Four Eyes, yeah.
The thing is, like, you want to send some sort of melee so that the archers have some, like, they're wasting the damage. But imps, I like imps for that, but then there's also the Hades to think about, so it's like kind of a tricky build.
You don't want to feed the Hades, that's right.
Yeah.
But the send is massive, so it's 760 for XGod. He's 800 under recommended value. This is going to be a big leak for him. And it's a 880 Mythium send for Ashton Butcher. He's much closer to value, and with the alpha males, they're very good tanks. He's doing very well, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's a 102% leak there for XGod. And Ashton, again, he's doing really, really well. He's trying his absolute hardest here, but still, it's a 77% leak. The GGs are coming out. It looks like Green and Burnt, they have tied the series here 2 for 2, and we all get our wish today, because there's game number 5 just round the corner.
Yep.
Nice. Very nice play by Julian and Green. That's what I wanted to see from them. Like, they get good early game, control the game, force them to send on their big waves and send very good stuff. Like 14 was the game breaking.
I wonder if we're gonna see a castle again, because did not look like a fun time for Ashton.
I don't think Ashton's going to go back to the castle after that one. And this is a very different graph than we've seen in any of the other games, because Green and Burnt, they were just ahead from start to finish, more or less. There's a couple of like glimmers of hope there for Ashton and XGod, but really this was the power index story from start to finish.
Yeah, like this is the first game where Ashton was not ahead. He was struggling, leaking, and exactly like this was the issue with the castle.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go back for that. Maybe he'll just go for YOLO in game number 5, we'll have to see.
And I wonder if they're going to keep the send order, because, I mean, it did seem to work out for whichever reason.
Well, now it's the choice of XGod and Ashton, right? So if they want to mix things up, they can. But yeah, I mean, just really, really nicely played from both teams. But I have to say, Green and Burnt, they played extremely well this time around. All right, guys. So, game number 5, just around the corner.
Any lobbies in the chat?
It's just way too close to call, right? Like, how can we decide which of these teams has an edge? Because I did feel like XGod and Ashton were playing much cleaner Legion for the first 3 or 4 games, but Burnt and Greenspirit, they were just dominant in that game number 4 there. So it's really tough to call either way. I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to call it. Whoever wins, I'm going to be really happy, because we've seen some fantastic Legion here tonight.
Yeah.
And finally, we have best of 5, going 5 games. That's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, it
Mm.
seems that we're getting even more viewers as we move to the absolute climax of this month's tournament. We've got nearly 1,400 people in the Twitch chat. Hello, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show.
My God.
Legion
Don't forget
popping off,
drops.
boys. Don't forget to claim your Twitch drops. Absolutely. All right, we have a lobby available. Thank you, Bernt, for starting that one, my friend. Everyone is here for game number 5. All right. So, Ofma, Adams, I need to hear your predictions now. Do you guys have a favourite? Who's going to take the cup?
I'm shifting to Julian and Greenspirit right now because of the momentum, and momentum is a big thing.
Yep.
And they might be a little bit more scared, Ashton and XGod. But I would still say it's 50-50 for me. Like, Ashton and XGod was clearly the better team in 3 games, and Julian and Green just stepping up in the last one. So let's see if they can keep up.
All right, guys, we're having a request from Ashton that he needs 2 minutes before game number 5, so we are going to grant that request. Not least because I actually have an empty glass of water here, and I could definitely do with some liquid if I'm going to be shouting my heart out for the next half an hour, because this is going to be a very exciting game. So I'm going to play Shadow's hype video, and we will be right back in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Oh, the Azeria! Oh, the Priestess dies really quickly. There was no second heal. This could be very bad here for Widdowson. This is going to be rough. Like you say, Ashton, though, he's holding the 280 Zen there. Can't kill the Ogre, though, can he? Atom? Outbroken? It can! The Atom's insane, dude! Look at this, Buzz. We've got 13 workers on Ashton, 12 on Bernt, 14 on Aviator, baby, and 12 on Widdowson.
Is under fire, it will be...
Oh, it dies very quickly. That's a Mimic Snipe there, and now Drakea's Azeria will heal. That's just a full hold, right? There's no way the creeps can kill the Azeria. Oh, wow! Aviator! Is he dying? He's dying! It goes down! The Crusher is dead! And Adams! You have 9 workers, you have 3.2k value, and you're leaking 100%. Chuvis 97% there, Drakea 99, Adams 69%. It's nice, but not with Chuvis and Adams. Drakea and Lucy, they are your June Nova Cup champions. Alright guys, thank you Shadow for that lovely hype video. Hope that kept you entertained for a couple of minutes. It looks like all of the players are ready, so this big, all-important game number 5 is about to begin here. It's so close, I really can't call it either way between these two teams. They've been playing to the absolute limits of their ability, and it's been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, the send order did get switched by XGod and Ashton, so going back to what worked.
Okay, so XGod is sending into Bernt, Ashton sending into Green, so interesting that they prefer it that way around. They do have their preferred sending order for game number 5. And guys, I mean, here it is. This is the one. This is all the marbles now to play for, because it's really just a best of 1 now. All of the teams have got their victories 2 for 2, and now game number 5, everything comes down to this. Who will be your July champions? We're about to find out. Game number 5.
5?
5? Question mark?
5. Oh, Fiesta from Bernt! Absolutely love to see it. When it's game number 5, everything's a play for. You need balls of steel, I think, to pick Fiesta.
Not the best role for Fiesta.
I was gonna say, his role looks like it kinda sucks.
But I'm wondering what he can build. Like, I know that like veteran leaks as a Fiesta, but I think that's not a good approach
Yeah.
to play Fiesta because you're just so bad on all other waves.
I think he just hit the reroll button as fast as he could. I've seen
Yeah.
Truvis play like Ninja Howler, I think, but not sure if that's actually very good as well.
I think
Ashton is
I've
playing
seen that as
Cartel.
well.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't saw him play ever the Cartel, but I think
this
Could be a
suits
good
his
mastermind.
playstyle a lot better than Castle does,
yeah,
because he should be able
like
to push pretty heavily here.
Yeah, like in
Ah.
general, I would like to play him more. Like I think that's a very good option for him.
Is he gonna have enough gold to build them to? Wait, how much gold does he get? $72 plus 15.
A double gate guard start here from Ashton and Green with 5 workers, very, very nice. And Bernt is playing Nightmare Fiesta. Not ideal, but he's played it before, and he actually kind of knows what he's doing with this. So we'll have to see, because just expect him to push hard. He's going to leak a little bit on 3, a little bit on 5, and things should be pretty spicy from there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the worst.
And
Better than trying to cook with something you're not familiar with.
yeah, I mean, the thing with Fiesta, right? A lot of times you see people making the mistake of just doing a terrible build because it's going to leak on wave 1 and 2. But you don't want to force a leak just for the sake of leaking. It's much better to play a good build, push a bit harder than you might normally, and just take the leaks naturally when they come, right? Rather than trying to force them.
Interesting gold for Ashton.
Yeah. Yeah, having to place 3 masks actually is really not where he wants to be. So sure, he's playing Cartel, but his build is still looking a little bit shaky here in game number 5.
Yeah, I think not the best units to pair with the gate guard opener, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the reroll button could be the thing as well very soon. Like he needs some unit because you don't want to spam mask or gate guards, and APS it's too soon. So
I think he decided that instead of building, he will just build some workers.
that's good choice. You can push a little bit right on for 4 and then shift maybe for upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Harbinger on 5, and then he can pop off hard if it works out.
it can work for sure. Now let's see, does Bernt get a Fiesta here? He only received a lizard. There was no snail added there from XGod. I'm not sure if he had the Mythium in time or not. And actually, this is a really solid leak. He even gets one more. 30% there. Nightmare Fiesta popping off, guys.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty clean. And he's definitely gonna leak 5 because I don't really see a good unit for him.
Yeah, he couldn't hold 5 if he tried, so he's going to get another Fiesta.
Looks like he's going for some enable action. 7 workers saving Mythium onto Ashton.
Alright, there's another DT sent here from Ashton into Green, but Green is going to be more than fine against this. He's even shifting 60 gold here, so Green is going for that Harbinger wave 5, covering Bernt, where he knows that his Fiesta teammate is weak. Interesting to see whether he pushes or not after receiving this Dragon Turtle.
Yeah,
Never.
never.
He could maybe. He can add it work, right? But just adding 85 value might be not enough to cover.
Yeah, he's staying 6 workers, so right from the get-go he realised he could have pushed immediately. He didn't. He wants to get that Harbinger. He knows his Fiesta mate is weak, and I think it's a pretty solid play,
Quite our
actually.
HP buff diff.
Whoa!
That 9 HP.
Absolutely insane. The Swift Tank Coiler just perfectly holding there on wave 4. Harbinger is built by Green. He has a ton of Mythium as well. He's saving that up. He's going to easily cover Bernt here. So Bernt, he's even boosting the Infiltrator there to make sure he kills the Scorpion King nice and quick.
The Scorpion King is going on a journey here.
Ashton also has a Harbinger, by the way. There's 2 Harbingers on the field, wave 5,
Yeah.
so Ashton's easily holding, I'm sure. But let's see
Cartel
how
diff.
well Burnt does here. It's only a Dino cent, so once again, XGod did not add any Mythium post-income. Now, the Scorpion King dies very quickly. He is killing the Dino as well. Wait.
He's full holding, no?
I mean,
Oh,
the Nightmare. I guess he's just full holding, yeah. Like, if XGod had added 1 snail, he's presumably going to leak. But like this, it's a hold, so Burnt missing out on the Fiesta value. It seems XGod has got his number.
Yeah, but I think he'll be okay with that.
I think Julian is totally fine with that, yeah. He was high
Yeah.
push and he's not leaking, so... The god you don't lose, you don't need to gain, right? So
Yep.
Talking
It's
about...
probably yeah, it's probably even better to not leak. Like if he was leaking 1, then of course it's better. But
Yeah. But
I
holding
think
while
that's a
having a
pretty
worker
clean
lead
hold.
is pretty good as well, right?
yeah.
He
Alright.
gets to now get the Tantrum on 7th, prep 8, and his like game plan is so smooth now.
Yeah,
I'm
Ashton
surprised
playing
he
this
is
one very well.
getting. I'm surprised that the Julian is getting full resend here because
He will
had,
leak now, though, right?
He will. He was probably XGod was counting. He will not add anything, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
But he was
but
still very strong with so much spam, and
Yeah.
wave 6 is very weak in versus spam. So, like, this is not really good for
And-
XGod and Ashton.
And talking about his
Yeah,
Fiesta
so-
value as well, this is a very clean leak. He nearly got the 6th Rocco as well. That would have just been perfect. But he's pretty happy with this. Now he has the worker lead, 11 workers for Burnt, 10 for both Ashton and XGod though, so not too shabby there. There will be a Tantrum Hellraiser on 8 from Ashton covering his weak wave 8. XGod, meanwhile... I mean, he has got the Fire Elemental, and he's also threatening the Tree of Knowledge as well, which, as we know, is very powerful on wave 8.
And Ashton also saving onto Greenspirit, who has the same weak wave as him.
Yep. Green has answers as well, though. Like, he has got the... he'll have a Deep Coiler on wave 8. He's got a Pegasus, which is just a really good tank on 8 as well. He even has a couple of mass just to kite things away from his main unit. So I think Green can do pretty well there. And Burnt with his Fiesta, well, he just doesn't care if he leaks a few creeps on wave 8.
Yeah. Wonder if he would try hard if he gets to 200.
Oh, he's very close. He will get 200. Is it going to be an Ogre? No.
Mole
Oh, it's
Hermit,
Mole
I think.
Hermit. Okay, I think the Mole Hermit's very good as well because it really does counter this Tantrumed Hellraiser.
Yeah, it'll be on how fast this Halo can kill that mole.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the Ogre was not better. I would probably click just Ogre, but...
Yeah, it's simpler in my head to do that.
yeah, like it's so good versus this stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
But
The mask
Mole
might
Hermit
kill
is-
the wave, but
He's pretty high value, though. 950 value here for Ashton. Big sends all around, actually. 240 for Ashton, 180 for XGod, 200 for Greenspirit, and 160 for BerntDasBROT. Let's have a quick look
Oh.
at this. Oh, the mask goes down! Oh, no! And the mole is still alive, even. This is really bad focus here for Ashton Butcher. He's leaking way more than expected. 84% there. Meanwhile, 67 for Burnt, but again, he's Fiesta.
Waldo.
He's fine with this. And Waldo is leaking to the Dino Fiend here, plus King Ups. Oh, wait. Is he leaking? It's just the longest wave in
Yeah.
history.
He is leaking.
these gloves cannot get the job done, I think.
Yeah.
No damage. It was so close, the Fire Elemental almost survived and it was just easy cleanup, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
leaking, unfortunately.
Meanwhile,
That's tough.
Greenspirit easily covering all of Burnt's leaks on that side, and XCrash taking first blood here on wave number 8.
Yeah. And I mean, Ashton has the Halo for 10, but other than that, he's not looking the best there. Oh, he has a Zerker I just saw on his roll.
Okay. XGod, honestly, not looking amazing on 10 himself, but yeah, with that Berserker, Ashton should be fine, I think, and the Halo, of course. Burnt's very good on 10. Like, 10 is Burnt's strongest wave.
Yeah, he's gonna shift here, I think, to just try and get out the gangster.
He is. He might also like to have a bit of a pro league here on 9, especially against Nocent.
Yeah, he is. Letting the dogs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't work out in last game, or like 2 games before, when he
Oh, yeah.
shipped and leaked so hard. It's
Yeah.
Pista. More careful now.
But like we were saying as well, you just can't play scared against players like Ashton and XGod, so I do like the fact that he's taking risks here, and it's paying off.
Definitely.
I wouldn't even mind him just literally sending like full income, like just full spam versus the Halo.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's an Ogre from Green, there's an Ogre from Burnt as well. Ashton can't
do the
quite
easy thing.
afford the Arc of Justice without selling one of the masks, but that's a very easy decision to make, I think.
Yeah, his gold is pretty awkward otherwise if he doesn't do that, right? Like
Yeah.
Zerker plus nothing.
XGod's really weak here, though, guys. I'm kind of worried
Yeah.
for XGod getting this big send here from Greenspirit. I think we're going to get a big leak here.
Yeah, I mean,
Ashton is also gonna leak, no
Yeah.
matter. He has this Arc of Justice, but he has 0 tanks.
yeah,
Oh,
like
this is
the
going to
mask
be...
is his best tank on this wave.
This is important now, guys. Let's just zoom out so we can get a view of both lanes simultaneously. The Ogre is killed instantly in Ashton's lane, but that does mean that Halo was not damaging the boss, so it won't be able to ramp up enough to kill that thing. That boss is leaking on about 40% HP. Meanwhile, XGod, he sniped the Ogre as well. 47% leak for Ashton. XGod's lasting longer. He is dealing a bit more damage as well, but still, it's going to be a leak, and these guys are going to lose even more king damage here. But Burnt as well. Whoa! The 1% HP boss, the perfect Fiesta there for BerntDasBROT. This is going very, very well for Team Power Index.
And I think it's time to do the easy thing and just go 13 now, right?
I think they should just save some Mythium and go 13, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer.
They could even go longer, yeah. Because they have 100% king HP, right? So they're not in danger, really, of being one-shotted thanks to tenacity. So if they wanted, they could just go straight 15, honestly.
Another cartel debuff is hitting. XGod is a bit ahead in terms of income, but
Yeah, but Greenspirit has 3 more workers.
Yeah, the worker situation will catch it up by the next send.
I wonder when XGod and Ashton can go and just turn the game around. It's probably all 13.
Yeah,
but
13, 15 looks like what everybody wants.
they might lose the trade on 13 there again. I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah. Greenspirit's looking pretty strong on 13, though. Like, he has the Sovereign there. He's got Hero, which he hasn't shown yet, so he's still hiding that. Maybe threatening the Pro League spell. I forget the name right now.
Counterattack?
Counterattack, yeah. He's threatening counterattack against XGod, so maybe thinking that they could go for a bit of a 12-13 send or something like this. But no, he's just going to reveal that hero on wave 13 with the Sovereign, and he's going to be very difficult to leak there.
Going for Deep Coiler. When he has a hero, which is
yeah, he's splitting his value a little bit there, right?
yeah.
But I guess he's somewhat worried about 12. But I mean, Julian has double doppel hero. It should be okay.
Julian is so strong here on wave 12. I think these guys are just playing it safe now because they understand that they're very comfortably in the lead right now. So they just don't need to take unnecessary risks, like leaking massively on 12.
Fair enough.
I mean, Julian is just overbuilt because like he's minus 80, but he has hero, and that's making you plus value.
Yeah. And he's very strong on 12 as well, right?
That's his best wave, yeah. So should definitely prepare for 14.
Gonna be those 13 sends. Ashton preps a Tantrum Mask, so I think he has only 1 Tantrum because the other one is on.
This is spicy, guys, because Ashton and XGod, they do save their Mythium here. So we were talking about an opportunity for them to come back in the game. Well, here it is, but it comes with a big caveat, because if they want the chance to come back into the game, they need to be able to hold these sends, and these sends coming out are massive here from Greenspirit and BerntDasBROT on wave 13. XGod and Ashton, if they hold here, they might have a good opening back into the game, but there's a pretty good chance they just straight up die as well.
Yeah.
Value is good, and he has hero, but it is a DK.
XGod
No.
is no damage for XGod.
Yeah. He has great tank, so somehow the DK stays alive forever, but
Yeah, the
two
DK
witches
is
will mean...
DK is cooking.
Yeah, he is alive.
Where is
Meanwhile, Ashton. I mean, Ashton's just full holding. Okay,
Okay.
this
Wow.
game just got spicy, guys.
Yeah, and XGod is holding real good himself.
Yeah.
he? So they're gonna aim wave 15, I can imagine right now.
Yeah.
It looks very promising for them.
Whoa.
And they even prolic by XGod.
69% there from XGod. Very nice indeed. And the full cover from Ashton is just extremely juicy for these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, the mask is even tanking for the Justice! This is insane!
Oh, nice. Can we also call this a little bit missteps by Green and Julian to not force wave 14?
Yeah, I thought
Maybe
they would
right,
do the
yeah.
same, honestly,
It's...
as last game.
Yeah, they could have done that, especially because Greenspirit did get his Sovereign with Hero there. They must have felt fairly comfortable, right? And even if they're scared on 13 themselves, they can still just do a few King Ups maybe or something like that while saving the rest of their Mythium.
Yeah, I think the goal should be not get saved till 15.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it, so they might get punished for it, but let's see.
They might. Greenspirit is still very strong on 15, even though he's going to be really undervalued. The Pegasus is so good there with Hero. The Sovereign can tank a lot of damage as well, and it is going to get full mana very quickly with all of those Pegasuses.
I worry about GKs, though. He's having some trouble with that. I
Yeah.
think.
And speaking of which, there's the first GK sent from Ashton already.
Yeah, I think this is the best send, especially goes after income for the second one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
neither will kill off all the Pegasuses, and then...
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm
Green...
always surprised that
It's a race, wow.
It is a race, yeah. I thought Green and Burnt might just go for the Income King play here. You know, play it safe, take it a little bit longer into the game. But no, they are going for a kill. So they're going for Witches. They're trying to just take their opponents out here on wave 15. And yeah, I mean, XGod, he's undervalue. Ashton, he'll be undervalue as well. But not as much as Greenspirit and Burnt are. The one thing is, with 100% King HP, they are likely to win a race if it's a race. But Ashton and XGod may just be able
they
to
go
hold.
for King Ups. Okay.
Green should probably build one.
Yeah, to get the Coiler
so Coilers can help with the tanks.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Oh, now they're just wasting all of their damage because they're never going to kill the boss, right?
Yeah.
At least this VK had to go down to the mask, but
The Sovereign now pops off, so it's getting a ton of damage done. But yeah, the Sovereign, the Deep Coilers basically did 0 effective damage. The one thing is it might reduce King damage, and they have got full attack, remember. So I don't think they're going to die. Ashton does leak here.
Badger alive.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
XGod's just easy holding, right?
XGod is doing so important to hold right here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Burnt and Green, they're taking a ton of damage here on wave 15, dropping down right the way down, under 30% already. And yeah, XGod with a big hold. He's even going to be able to cover, I think, fully in the mid.
Yeah, definitely. Now we are going into game where we can see some full push, maybe from XGod right now.
Yeah, they're trying to...
Oh,
and
here it
so,
comes, yeah.
Like 17s looks very juicy versus Julian and
Yep.
Greenspirit.
Yep.
I think he's gonna leak to no scent, though, so it might...
Give the game away somewhat.
And it's not like Green is that bad on 17. He's gonna have like a lot of value in the Warg circles.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he has 4 Pegasus, which is like 1,000 value or what?
Yeah.
Maybe even more, right? 1.5k. So a lot of that value on 17. So
And
it's gonna
Julian
be
is
very hard.
definitely the stronger one with the Doppels and the Havens.
XGod even sold some units here, by the way, so if it wasn't
Yeah, he's
obvious that
2900
he's
value.
full pushing... Oh, but Ashton's just fully prepping his Tantrum Hellraisers for 17, so they've got a really nice setup here, actually. A really, really nice setup on 17.
Yeah, it's just very nice play. Like if you are suiciding, you know that you either win or lose next wave, so you just need to full prepare for it.
Yep.
And they are doing exactly like that. So very nice play.
And he can even go for tree spam as his like fortified tank, which is pretty efficient.
Yeah, or just exploding and just mop the full
one shot the wave.
right?
Yeah. With the
Either
Tantrum
or.
Hellraisers as well, the AoE combo seems very juicy indeed for Ashton. He's got 800 gold to play with, so let's see what he builds here. We do get the counter-suicide play, it seems, coming out from BerntDasBROT, so he's got 34 workers as well. The thing is, he started pressing that button a lot later than XGod did, so his send is going to be quite a lot smaller than XGod's into him. But it's a good call, right? It's the correct play.
So
It's
we have
a good play, yeah.
the advantage Ashton has is he has full Tantrum Mass, and the advantage Green has is the Hero Aura. So
Yeah.
they're on roughly similar values, a little bit more on Ashton, but
Now, Ashton does receive a bigger send, but not by much. It's only an 800 send into Ashton with a 720 into Green. Burnt and XGod, of course, both are going to leak massively here because they fully pushed the worker button. But Ashton, he is going to leak. How's Green doing? Green's doing very, very well. Let's go back to Ashton again. Perfect tanking, but he does leak.
Oh, wow.
Green, I mean, he's holding the longest, but they have way less King HP. Will this be enough delay? The gate opens instantly on both sides. This is so close, but I think with 30% it's just not enough. And yes, XCrash are your July Nova Cup champions. Well played.
Well played, well played. They was kind of behind in this game and they pulled it off. So very nice play. Like in the final game, just keep it cool and go for the plays. But congratulations to Green and Julian. They played. Oh, sorry.
they played really well, right? Greenspirit and BerntDasBROT. They played phenomenally well. Phenomenally well. And it all came down, I think, to this Wave 13 hold from Ashton Butcher, right? Because these guys were behind. Let's take a look at the graph. Yeah, they were heavily behind, in fact. Jules was giving them a 39% win probability after Wave 13. And, yeah, the fact that Ashton's able to hold there is just clearly game winning, because then they can get this killer damage done on Wave 15, and that just opens up XGod's suicide push into Burnt, who was theoretically the holder on 17, but as a result he had to full push into Ashton, and he did get the leak, and it was faster, but they just did not have the King HP, and that really is what it came down to at the end of the day. A very, very close race. And what better way, by the way, to end such a close best of 5 series than a split-second King race between these two teams.
Yeah, that was nice. And the Sui call ended up working out.
Yeah.
Not Julian made a decent read to go for the Sui himself, but I mean, Green was obviously worse on that wave, right? So
yeah.
He couldn't manage to delay long enough.
Alright, I'm whispering Ashton and XGod. Let's see if we can get those guys in here for a winner's interview, because I'm dying to speak to these guys after a game like that. Ashton is saying he's unavailable, unfortunately. Let's see if XGod is around. Alright, XGod is coming, so let's have a chat with XGod. Alright, can I bring him in here?
Hello.
Hey, there we go.
Hello.
XGod, my friend, congratulations. What an insane series that was.
Thank you. Yeah, that was very, very, very insane. It's best of 5 going the distance, just what everyone has been waiting for, I guess, right?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, and even that last game really came down to a race with some really clutch holds by you guys on Wave 13, turning the game around, because it felt like you were pretty behind at that point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, around the early to mid game, there was a couple of waves, like 8. That was my bad, and then 10, we both fell to hold. So by that point, we're definitely behind. But on 13 was a nice call by Ashton to hold and not send, and we were able to take back the lead on 15.
Yeah, really nice presence of mind there from yourself and Ashton. Even though you must have been feeling under the pressure, you just decided to risk it to win the biscuit. And yeah, here you are, the July Nova Cup champions. Really impressive stuff from you guys.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, so here's something funny. Okay, so my keyboard, there's one key that's broken. That's the K key.
Okay.
And that's the shortcut for sending imps. And that's what happened in... So every time you see me sending imps, it's probably because my keyboard was not functioning.
And it's always after income, right?
Yeah, the imps on 16. That was...
Oh, very cool, very cool. How XGod, tell me how you and Ashton felt after that game number 1, where you were dominating versus Burnt and Green, and then they just came out of the blue with that like Hail Mary play that won them the game, because it felt like a massive comeback from those guys in game 1.
Yeah, oh my god, game 1 feels like hours ago, not gonna lie. But so what happened was we knew they wanted to do something like a huge send, and at some point we read it's gonna be 12, and we decided to not send anything on 11, which was a mistake after that we reviewed the game, because the play was to just full send on 11, since they're both gonna be undervalued and overpushed.
Yep.
And getting a leak on 11 would just help us holding 12. And also I wouldn't say trolling a little bit, but I was like really committing to holding 12, and I was really close to holding 12. Like every unit was on like 10% HP, but that was like just too much, and we failed to come back after that. I mean, it's a good play by them going 12 overwork.
Yeah, that was insane play by them, but you said you wanted to send 11 or something because you didn't send, and they made like super good pro league with overwork.
Yeah, because we decided to not send 11, to not prolong the wave. But after the game, when I checked it again, I feel like the best play was to just full send, because I knew they're gonna be undervalued and want to pro leak. So if we send full, then they would be leaking like way more.
Yeah, like that's the issue, right? You don't want to make it longer, so you don't get biggest send, but you get punished if they actually grid and leak.
Yeah.
So that was really nice play.
That was the play that we missed, but it's a good play by them.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it feels like the two of you were just so evenly matched here. Like the whole series was very back and forth, a lot of close race finishes to the games, and it really could have gone either way here in game number 5 as well. But at the end of the day, yourself and Ashton turned out to be the better players, and you did clutch this one. You are the July champions. You must be feeling pretty good about yourself right now.
Yeah, that was very exciting, and I mean, it could have gone either way, right? Like it was a race very, very, very close. It's like maybe a 1 or 2 second difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, if they didn't send you on 13 the last game, and they just go 15 and they protect the 15 send, I think you will be in like big trouble there. But they,
well, we looked because we looked really bad on 12 and 11 for the wave 13. So I think that's the send was okay, but Ashton just clutch hold.
Yeah, that was really perfect for him, and he even managed to clear up all of your leak in the mid as well. That was just amazing.
Yeah, and on 15 I was able to hold his leak, and
yeah.
And I just think as well, that coming down to a race on 17 really was the perfect end to this series, because, like we were saying, like the two teams are just almost perfectly matched. It felt like you had, both of you had some really good reads, some really good mind games, some really good plays back and forth, and then for the whole thing to come down, game number 5, down to the wire, a race back and forth on 17 with 1 second, 2 second difference. It was just perfect ending to a perfect series.
Absolutely, I have to agree.
And did you have a ton of fun playing XGod?
Of course, I'm thrilled.
Nice. All right, guys. I mean, this is
It's I'll tell you what, it's been a it's been a while I felt this good playing Legion, you know.
nice. I mean, it's
It's
been a while since we've had
definitely-
you on the winners podium as well, right? So it's great to have you back here in the winners interview, I think.
Yeah, I've been a little bit more preoccupied with other stuff and in life pretty much this year, so I've not been very present in Legion or in tournament in general. But yeah, glad to be back.
Nice one, dude. Nice one. I mean, we're all glad to have you as well because you've always been a phenomenal player, one of the best that there ever has been. And now, again, we get to see exactly why that is with a really impressive performance from yourself and Ashton, of course. Though, having said that, I think Bernt and Green really should be proud of their play today because they played phenomenally well as well. Gave you guys a very, very close 5-game series. So big shout out to those
Of
guys.
course, they're amazing players and very good opponents, and credit to them for sure.
Yeah, 100%, dude, 100%. All right, guys, I think I'm just going to do a quick shout out to all the people that need thanking. So a massive thank you to all of the tournament organisers, that's Schnerd, Natodog, Slinky Dinky, all the guys behind the scenes making sure that the tournament runs smoothly. Huge shout out to Auto Attack Games, of course, for building the game that we know and love. And really, really great to see that the marketing push has gone well this weekend. Legion hit an all-time high with over 6,000 concurrent players today, which is just brilliant news. I hope the game continues to grow because we love to see it. I hope all of you new guys in Twitch chat have been enjoying the show as well. This really has been some phenomenal Legion, so I hope you've enjoyed the show there. And of course, a huge shout out to my co-casters, Ofma and the Dams. Finally got a Dams on the cast here. This was something that I've been trying to do for months and months and months. It's been a massive pleasure, guys. It's been really, really good to have you here.
Yeah, it was fun and a really exciting game, so I'm glad that it worked out today.
Yeah, I think it's something with the TriCasts always bring out the Game 5 finals.
So, something that brings out the magic, right?
Yeah.
All right. XGod, do you want any final words for the stream before we end?
Well, thanks for having me here, and every team in this tournament was amazing. You know, there wasn't a series that we felt like the opponent weren't good. It just shows how good the competition is at the moment.
Definitely, definitely. And I think the new Division 1 format really helps with that as well. Create some very tight games, even on day one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So shout out to Greenspirit, actually, your opponent, because a lot of the new format is his idea. So, you know, credit where due. But yeah, okay, guys, I think on that note, that is about all that we have time for today. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the show. And for all of you new players, Nova Cup is a monthly event. So if you've enjoyed what you've watched today, then make sure you're back here for the August Cup. We're going to have some more spicy games for everyone to see. And on that note, guys, goodbye.